In New Zealand, the largest single chunk of our emissions comes from our agricultural sector. That's unusual amongst OECD countries. Most OECD countries are more heavily industrialised and have greater use of coal in their energy. But already people are exploring some pretty amazing new technologies. So we're talking a lot these days about something called precision agriculture. And that is where people are using kind of groundwater sensors to determine exactly how much water is already in the ground, which means they're then able to distribute fertiliser and to irrigate based on a zero waste kind of model. And that also means that you don't get the kind of leaching into the soil and into the water that you might otherwise get.
The technology will be hugely important, and any new technology is important. But I guess one of the things that we need to remember is we shouldn't always be looking well into the future of what's coming. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's here today that we could use today and make a massive difference. So lots of different technology, lots of different ways to be able to reduce our inputs and maximise our outputs. And it's really focused on environmental sustainability. So we use things like soil moisture monitoring, so we know exactly how much soil there is. We've mapped the soil across the property, so we know what the spatial variability is. And once we know what those two things are, then we actually know what the water holding capacity will be by different zones. That also allows you to understand what the profitability can come out of certain zones, so you know how much you might put into it. If you don't measure it, then you can't manage it. So measurement's key, and then sitting down and modelling what you're going to do is the next step that comes along that way. Really, it's about having the desire to be better at what you do today than what you were doing yesterday.
I absolutely do believe that New Zealand can lead towards a more sustainable future, as can other small countries. So our total emissions are something like 0.17% of the global total, right? So it's absolutely tiny. So you would think, therefore, that we don't have influence. Actually, we can and we do, because we are leaders in the agricultural space. If we set the goal of becoming a low emissions economy, and that we lead with agriculture, actually, if we can work out how to produce low or zero emission food, then actually that becomes valuable to the whole rest of the world.